All right, it's Halloween. You know, welcome everybody to another episode of Mornings with Movers. We definitely got a full house in the building now. Before we only had three. It felt like we was missing a quarter. Now we got everybody. All right. So again, everybody, I'm Dwyght Mack with Max Moving Training. We got Ryan Marsh in the building. We got James Bradley. I didn't have the pleasure of really meeting him yet, so I'm gonna let him introduce himself. And we got a returning guest, Verner from Veterans Are Us, and we don't know the secret moving company he got, but we'll keep that private. Uh, but James, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm still stuck on the secret moving company. Yeah, I've been in the industry about 10 years, mostly moving sales. Worked at a couple small companies, but then JK, probably the largest I worked at. Now I'm at Supermove with Ryan.
Oh, nice, nice. All right, and I seen he had the truck there, so we got the Halloween themes going. So I
A little
seen the
bit.
truck, and I was like, "Oh,
Yeah, it's scary. Yeah,
I feel like, are you doing like a trunk and treat or something, James? Like you passing out candy right now?
that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Let RB know in marketing. That'll be our next Halloween thing to do.
So for those that don't know Verna, I know Verna is running more of a veteran style type moving company, and he could probably hit on that a little bit more. But he also has this celebrity company that we don't talk too much about.
How you guys doing today?
Good, good.
Yeah,
How are you?
okay. Well, my name is Verner Owens, and I'm with Veterans Are Moving Us out of Dallas, Texas. And I love coming over here and talking to you guys. So it's nice to meet you guys. And I remember talking to Ryan before, but James, nice to meet you.
You too.
So how's the season going over there in Texas? I know it stay hot.
It's actually it's going well this season. Everybody's really excited with the new change of administration that's going to be coming soon. So everybody's moving here, making money and having a good time out here.
Okay. And how's that other side of business been going?
Actually, it's going really well. We got a lot of people that are moving here because of the tax. The tax is low out here, and the cost of living is low. So we got a lot of, we have a lot of corporate movers, corporate people coming out here too. So you got Universal Studios, you have the PGF Golf headquarters. A lot of different headquarters are coming to the DFW.
Wow. Okay. And I'm gonna still say it. I heard that you moved Deion Sanders.
Yeah. Deion Sanders.
You say humble.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think I remember that. Yeah.
Hey everybody, my name is Dwyght Mack with Max Moving Training. So we're gonna be doing a move and a pack today. But before we go in, there's just 10 basic rules that we just need to know before participating with this service. So number one, understand moving is a very, very stressful thing. The customer, they're uplifting their life from one location to another. They're having to call all these vendors and get all these suppliers in place so that basically they can make that transition. So their stress level is at the highest right now. We need to be a service provider that comes in and basically keep that stress level mitigated or very low. Come in as professionals and do our job the way we know how to do our job so that this customer is less stress during that move process. Number two, be on time. First impression is everything. You guys showing up outside of the window rubs the customer the wrong way. It messes up the rest of the move process. Even if you guys do the best job y'all can do, because one thing was off, this customer's mood is just off. Go up and beyond, be there before the time, as long as they're okay with it.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So Deion Sanders, move a lot of the football players. I can't say all of them because I signed an NDA, so I can't really say too many of them. The ones I can post pictures about, I can do.
All right. How did your sales and everything bounce back after the whole issue?
I'm still trying to bounce back from that. Luckily, I have a lot of referrals and a lot of returning customers. If you guys didn't know, I was with Oncue for 5 years or 5 or 6 years, and they handled everything. That was my sales force. Oncue was like a really big help for me when I first started. you know, because like how when you first started, when I first started, I had my cousins, my friends in the office, you know, they were professional, but they wasn't listening too well, you know. They wasn't doing what they were supposed to be doing. So when Oncue came in and the CRM system that they had, it was like next level, you know. I didn't have to worry about deposits. I didn't have to worry about receipts. I didn't have to worry about they answered my calls. They did everything. When that initial day, they said, "Hey, nobody's answering your calls." I didn't have nobody in the office. You know, they were my administrators. They did everything for me. So you know, I'm still trying to bounce back from them. I'm trying to get new people. Luckily, we have a lot of the old Oncue call center employees. They are going to different moving companies, and they still helping us out as far as doing calls, or we can hire them to do certain things for us.
Okay. Well, you know, if you ever need some sales reps, you know, I definitely still have that source for you. As most already know, or I posted in the group that I'm outsourcing, you know, sales reps and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, I've been working with MoveBees right now too.
Oh yeah, Tim is great.
Yeah, I've been working with Tim, and then I've been working with SmartMoving CRM system. I've been working with when I left from Oncue, I thought Oncue was like, okay, Oncue was good. Maybe there's somebody out there better, but Oncue really had a really nice app. You know, they really had an app for movers that, like myself, I'm on the go all the time. So I need that. I can look at my phone. I can look at everything really quick. Or if I needed to book a job really quick, Oncue had all that in their app. So it's kind of hard right now that Chariot is out there, SmartMoving, Move It Pros, all these different, because I tried like 30 different ones. And so far, SmartMoving is closer to Oncue than anybody else. SmartMoving still has a lot of quirky stuff in it that they don't need to be there. But I think that's what I'm using right now. And then I'm teaming up with MoveBees to do my answering my calls for me right now.
Well, Verner, I didn't know how long you wanted this episode to be, because you know you're on a call with Supermove people.
It's okay. No, don't say that.
Look. I talked to Supermove. Look, I talked to Supermove, and then Supermove was different. Like it wasn't too cost effective for me, and I needed a crew app, and they only use the you need an iPad the users, you know, I run so many people, I needed a crew app and for them to do a lot of things. But my friend that's out of our way moving out of New York, I think you know him probably. He's used Supermove, and you know, he said he can discuss some stuff with me later. So he's been trying to get me, you know, when he comes to Texas all the time. He's building a new warehouse, or he almost done. But he's with Supermove right now. So
Heck yeah, we got one of them. Good.
Yeah.
No, never feel bad, man. What you like is what you like, and I've said this on many episodes, right? There's, depending on how you operate, depending on what really you're attracted to within the piece and how you run, like there's things for everybody, right? So I don't take offense by it. I think it's awesome. I love to get back, and you know, you win a lot of some and you lose a couple of others. It's just
I do like Supermove, but it was just the cost effective. It was just I was running a lot of stuff, and Supermove they have a lot. You have to really get into it, and then I think Supermove is better than more than a lot of moving. I think it's better than Moving Pro and SmartMoving, but it's not, the app is not there yet. That what I needed, because SmartMoving is probably better for like a bigger company that have the apps, the iPads and stuff. But my guys, I'm not gonna give them iPads so they can break them. So that's the one thing. Yeah, that's the one thing. Like I could tell somebody, oh, I left the iPad somewhere or something like that. So I need something with it, like a phone. Even
what?
you know,
They got and I think you hit on it a couple of weeks ago, Ryan, but I think with the Apple tags that's now there.
yeah.
You can stick that right to the back of your tablet and ain't got to worry about losing those bad boys. Or
They still,
Are
movers
you
still
guys
leave
going
the
to get an
tablets
app?
behind.
Number 3, make sure your team is in uniform, they're groomed, their hygiene is checked, because that's the worst thing you could do, especially going in a house. Customer can smell your guy from a mile away, and now, again, their mood is just thrown off. So make sure that you guys are in uniform, you're tight, you have uniform shirts, it doesn't look like, you have a laborer that's, hired from off the street. Presentation is everything that goes towards your first impression. Number 4, introduce both you and your partner when greeting the customer. Don't just go to the door by yourself, while your driver is unloading the truck, and introduce yourself. Actually have both of you there. Introduce yourself first, then introduce your partner second, and then, allow them to welcome you into their home.
They'll leave
guys-
$1,000 in equipment. They'll absolutely leave a tablet behind. You know that.
Yeah. Now, are you guys going to get an app for SmartMoving, Supermoving?
You can do it on your phone currently, but you
Like a
can
crew
do
app.
what you can. Yeah, you can do that on your phone, but it's being tweaked right now. So
Okay. That's I think that's one of the biggest things that out there right now, because there's a lot of only Move It Pro right now and Supermove. No, I mean SmartMoving has the app. All the rest of them don't have apps yet for the crews, and that's one thing that you want to make sure that the guys collect the money correctly. That's one of the biggest things, and then I think that was the only thing with Supermove.
another thing too is if you for call service there. I don't know if you look to elevate moving sales as well. You check out those guys.
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
I did. It just Tim kind of got me a better deal. Not a better deal, but he twisted my arm. He twisted my arm, so.
It's crazy. It's so many things that we have to worry about, and so we try to delegate as much as humanly possible. But I still feel like we need to have our hands in on it to ensure that those people are doing it right. Like I hired an internal marketing team at one point, and I was like, you know what, the post that they're doing, it's salesy, but it's not educational. And I'm me being focused on training, I'm like, I don't want to sell people all the time. I want to educate them. And if they feel intrigued, maybe they'll migrate over this way because they're like, oh, I didn't know that. So to now have to teach your marketing team how to create educational posts or, engaging posts is like, you really got to know something about what you're trying to teach.
They're not doing ChatGPT. That's the
everybody's probably trying to do it.
Sure, that's the best thing for me. That's all. ChatGPT. I do estimates through ChatGPT. I do everything through ChatGPT now.
How does that work with the estimates?
Easy. You just tell them what you want. Like you see, you can look at a house and say, okay, you can just do it on ChatGPT. Hey, this is going to be this. Do it in full estimate. Do it 65 hours or something like that. It writes everything out for you. You just got to
set up. You just then set up your CRM to with all of that stuff to send it out.
I wish, but I don't think Supermove or anybody has got that integrated yet. Do you guys?
What you mean the terms and conditions for your voice mails?
No, not voicemails, but okay, because before Oncue was going to do that, they were going to integrate this ChatGPT into their software. I think they ran out of money, but that's what they were doing at the beginning. I mean, at the end, they were going to get that in there because Kate was like a really good in computers and stuff like that, and she was trying to do that. So when customers call in and they'll say on the phone, they'll say what they have, the ChatGPT will automatically do an estimate for them.
Me and Mark's working over here.
What's that?
Me and Ryan are smirking over here. We gotta get him at least a Copilot. You gotta look at our AI sales tool, Copilot.
Yeah, our AI sales co-pilot. Man, this just turned into like a software piece here, but
My,
we don't normally talk about
bad.
software on these things.
Oh,
My bad.
We got the sales AI co-pilot that does what you're talking about there, Verna. Yeah, so we rolled
You
that out,
do?
bro. We do, yeah. And
Okay.
it's very
we'll,
inexpensive.
we'll talk after this.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
We'll keep it on Dwight's podcast.
Okay.
yeah, I don't want to plug the sales AI Copilot, but yeah, it does leverage ChatGPT with objection handling. If you want to go ahead and take an inventory over the phone, great. Summarizes the calls. You can text this, dummy down whatever based on how you want to talk or how you want the message to come across. Then you can basically rate and grade your salespeople. But obviously, you got MoveBees there that are probably handling a lot of that for you. So
Yeah, they still trying to learn stuff like that. So we'll it's been like a month and a half. So they're still, or a month. It's been yeah. October 1st was the first day. Yeah. So
Yeah. And I think Moving Marketing AI, the Facebook group or stuff like that, talked about how you can leverage, I think, ChatGPT to cube out the home.
oh yeah.
Or take it or upload an image and ChatGPT would cube it out for you. They're like, oh yeah, that's you got a sofa in this image, you got a bed in this image. And they were showing how you could kind of really leverage ChatGPT with just using your photos that you have in your phone.
Oh, well, what is it's another company that does that too? But I
Yumbo?
yeah, Yumbo, you got Virtual Moving Technologies. You even have Milo over at Drive Sales. There's a lot of folks that are kind of in that space. They got Live Switch too. I mean, there's no AI involved there, but I love how they're.
I like the simplicity of Live Switch.
100%.
Yumbo, I think the price point was up there. And there was another one. I think Equate Media had a software as well. I forget who their software was, but if you had them as a lead provider, I think you got that program for free where you can just record people's home or send them a link and they can record their home and you can actually break it up by rooms. So they can say, oh yeah, this is a 4-minute video on the basement, 4-minute video on the bedroom, one, etc. And you could kind of break it up. I don't think Live Switch got to that point of being that technical, but it was super simple.
Clean, yeah.
You didn't have to download any apps and have to worry about, how to use the app or something like that. Did you
guys go ahead?
No, go ahead. What were you going to say?
I'll switch this up. No, it's okay. I got it. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, no, I was going to say, did you have a chance to use Live Switch yet, Verner?
No, I have not.
Oh,
I need to start. Yeah, but it was just because like this last since Oncue messed me up. Not Oncue. I shouldn't say they messed me up, but since Oncue went under, I had to do. I've been like running like chicken with his head off. So it's just been crazy for the past 3 months, and trying to just like do different CRMs and stuff like that. So I haven't, but in this discovery, I've been learning different people CRMs and different techniques people been doing. I really appreciate like I think Ryan, I did have a conference call with you, didn't I?
Yeah, we chatted. I think we chatted a ways back. It was right after, I think the last podcast you might have been on. Yeah, we definitely chopped it up, all things moving, I believe.
Yeah, so so ever since I've been talking to everyone, I've been learning different strategies and stuff like that. So because in the moving industry, I never had a mentor. And I said, well, man, I need to get a mentor. So I finally found one. And he's been just kind of telling me I need to start opening up more. So I do appreciate this whole journey of trying to find new ways to reach out to different movers and stuff like that. But I was going to ask you guys, did you guys go to that retreat? The Titan retreat or whatever? How was that?
It was, I've been to over 30 conferences, Verna. I would say that one there was probably the top. I would say it's a battle between, the top 1, 2, and 3. But top 3 that I've ever been to in my 15 years, 15 years total in the moving industry, it was a lot of learning, a lot of energy, and everybody was willing to share. information,
Okay.
which typically when you go to these conferences, nobody shares a lot of stuff. They hold it all right here, right? But
Yeah.
mostly it's because everybody's in a competing market. And this one was really cool because you have people from all across the country, even people in the same markets. And obviously not discussing price or anything like that, but discussing strategy and sales playbooks and how to maximize your operational efficiency. And it was just it was a really good show. We got in front of a lot of people there. I got to meet a lot of folks that I've been on webinars with, and I've in reality created some pretty amazing friendships. I had a lot of friendships prior to that with these folks, but after that retreat, it was just like, wow, it was a magical show.
So that's the reason why I'm thinking about doing that next time. I think the next treat is next year or sometime or next
October 8th, 9th, and 10th.
Yeah. So that's the reason I'm thinking about doing that next year because I need to start reaching out to different moving companies now and just and
That's a new thing too. Like this,
Huh?
that's a new thing too. Like the humbleness, the lack of ego,
Yeah.
information. So
I think Stephen Reed from Big League Movers said it best. He's like, check your Rolexes, check your egos, check whatever your vehicle, check all that crap at the door. Come
Yeah.
here minded, and everybody's here to learn. Like all the answers to this industry are inside this room. We just
Yeah.
need to pick each other's brains and have some fun with it. And it was damn good, man. I would
Yeah.
highly recommend. And I might even have an extra ticket for you if you want to roll.
Yes.
So we're gonna be the
Yes.
elite sponsor there next year. I just locked that in
Oh,
last
for real?
week. Yeah.
All right, congratulations.
So we work really well with those.
It's gonna be
guys.
in Florida again. It's gonna be
Yep.
in Florida again. Okay.
Yep, it'll be in Florida, different venue to change it up a little bit. Because the JW is super expensive, I'll tell you that. Ooh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody better get, lock it in because, when that Optimus robot come out, gonna be a wrap.
It's already out, Dwight.
You're gonna see them driving the 26-foot box trucks, like driver who?
Time is
talking
coming.
Uh-oh.
The Optimus robot that Elon Musk released.
I did not see it.
Oh man.
They can do 7,000 pound local in 2.5 hours.
go look it up on Halloween. It'll freak you out.
Okay.
Yeah, no, they can do it. Right now they're saying that they can do everything. Of course, they're working out the tweaks, but it's gonna be the cost of a car, 20,000 to 30,000.
It's cheaper than a labor, I'll tell you right now.
Mhm.
You don't got to worry about no call, no show. You don't have to worry about not being in uniform.
Have a lift gate installed.
Uh-huh. He said, "I'm looking this up right now."
Verner's like, look at he's ordering 6 of them. Look at it.
Elon Musk.
But,
Oh, you talking about the robot? Oh.
mhm.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Yeah, between the self-driving trucks, which is going to lower people's insurance drastically once people are able to afford them.
Uh-huh.
And then, and the reason why it's going to lower it because obviously you ain't going to have to worry about drivers. If the drivers are in it, they ain't driving it. And then, you got the Optimus robots, and they even created body skeletons now that's going to keep older people around doing this moving stuff.
What?
Because it gives you the extra, strength to lift those boxes.
Yeah. I better make my money now so I can get out of here because this is too techie for me. I'm about to save my money up and buy me a little piece of land and just stay right there because in a minute it's gonna be too techie for me.
Yep.
All those associations that y'all been going to now, where y'all see these old school ways of thinking, and these people kind of bore you with these long slides of compliance this, compliance that. That's all going to change because they're going to have robots.
Yeah.
It's just
Makes
that's evolution.
Right.
You just look how far the industry, even though the industry hasn't really, it's changed and grown over the past 100+ years, but not a whole ton, right? So I just feel like now is kind of, but you look at every other industry who is pivoted. I mean, you look at the Amazons, the Ubers, transportation. I mean, shoot, horses pulling, carriages with a couple boxes and what have you. Now you've got these massive tractor trailers with guys that look like they're campers, like on the back of their cabs that are like marble, granite, like still not there, but we're making some changes. I think over the next couple of years, you're really going to see a mass change. It depends on which side of the house you are. There's a lot of believers in the tech world that 6 to 12 months, you're going to see this crazy, especially with the AI. But then there's the other believers that say, you're not going to get buy-in for another 5 to 10 years. I'm more that 6 months to 12 months. I feel like it's really, really going to ramp because ChatGPT's been around for a while. AI's been around for quite some time now, but it's taken it 10 plus years to really, click. Now it's like every day. I mean, I'm leveraging AI every single day, whether it's on a personal level or a professional piece. I just feel like even if you're not that great with it, you need to just dabble with it. Otherwise, it's just going to pass you by so fast.
Because I'm old school and I'm dabbing with it. And that's why I'm like, okay. But I was waiting for, that's the reason why I like Oncue, because Kate was like, all right, I'm going to try this new stuff on you. I was like, what is it? And then she was always giving me the new ideas, all the new stuff. And I was like, holy crap. Okay. So that's why I really like, I really need to get back into talking to everyone and try to get back into getting this AI all together,
Did you end up getting off the truck yet, Verner? I think he froze. He looked like he froze.
He's got a good poker face. I'm not.
He's got a 2-7 off suit right now. I see that bluff face.
We got to go to poker night one of these days. I was gonna go up to I forget the name of the casino, but it's up my way.
Turning Stone.
Yes. So we definitely got to go there and play some poker.
I'm down. Actually, when I got off the flew into Syracuse last night, there was a guy standing there that had this big old sign and it said Ryan Turning Stone, da-da. And I just kind of looked at the guy and he was like, you? And I'm like, I'm Ryan. I'm like, you don't want me going to Turning Stone right now.
lose all the money. So how's it? So what's your role, I guess, over there at Supermove, James?
BDR lead. So BDR is kind of the people that call moving companies, see if there's value, get them interested, and then attend a demo. So
Okay. Sounds like something I'm trying to build out. So no, so I got as I've been telling Ryan, so I've been working on this company so far. It's almost there, I'm not gonna say too much on here because there ain't a lot of people listening, but it's almost there. We're working on a few more kinks or so like that, but it's basically gonna definitely help the moving industry and their labor issues that they could be possibly having. But I know that everybody's been changing. That whole industry has been changing this year between with the housing market and everything. Oh yeah.
So that little plug in there. I got it still.
So but yeah, so hey, welcome back. But I know that, like I said, the whole industry has been changing as a whole, especially with the housing market and everything, prices going up. People need to be paid more. The little menstrual services, if it's not a necessity, it's definitely like on the back burner because it's like we got to hold every little dime, every little penny that we can. And I'm like, when did it get this rough? Like, I always felt like, if you wanted it, go get it. Like when I first started the industry and I was like, oh man, can I afford Louis Mazzaro's training or whatever the case is? Because it was super expensive at that time. And I was like, you know what? But what if I don't pay for it? Where would I be tomorrow? Worst case scenario, it don't teach me anything. I'm still in the same boat. But if it teaches me something, I could be at that next level, whatever that was. And breaking people out of old habits like your sales team, like, oh yeah, I know, yeah, we used to getting on the phones and winging it. You there, Runner?
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, you guys.
No, you're fine.
The Texas heat melting his internet over there.
No, it's the new. I live in Frisco, so a lot of people moving here, so that's the problem.
Oh yeah,
it's a lot of movers, a lot of people moving. That's a good thing.
But now,
we are having a lot of people. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Did you end up getting off the truck?
Yes and no. I'm trying to truck, but I keep on making myself go on the truck. I find a reason to go on the truck. You're not doing it right, and my guys keep on telling me to leave. So I'm trying, because they don't like me in the truck. They just want me just out the way. So
Do you find
That's a good sign, though.
it is a good sign, but I just
It's
I'm
hard.
just yeah, it's hard.
Do
It's
you find
hard.
yourself not
It's
having
really
enough to
hard.
do in the
So
office?
no, I have a lot to do in the office. It's just I just want it a certain way, especially with those different clients I was telling you about.
Mhm.
Like I'm very nervous, like, you know, because some of these clients, the other, you know, when I'm talking about the other clients,
Yeah, we all know. We all get it.
they really special. So anything can tick them off, you know. And it's not even it's not even them, it's their underlings, you know. They're little, you know, wannabe celebrity friends, you know.
Yeah.
You know?
Gotcha.
So the wannabe celebrity friends are the hardest ones to work with. The celebrities are good, but the wannabes are the hardest ones, you know, because they the ones be there a lot, you know. So
We moved Anderson Pack a couple years ago.
uh
He was like the nicest guy ever, but like his people under him were like the toughest.
yeah, they I'm
All
like,
trying to look
man,
good.
Yep.
yeah. So it's just, you know, I don't want to get, you know, but out here, I think the Dallas market is more of like, if you use this moving company and this celebrity uses this moving company, everybody's going to do that.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, let's do this because, you know, Trayvon did use this moving company. So that's why I got a lot of different ones, you know, because it's just different people, you know, even though I'm not a Dallas Cowboy fan, but, you know, I move a lot of them.
Oh, see, Verner, I knew there was something about you. I just
Like, cut that
it's
out.
Raiders, man. Hey, it's Raider Nation. It's Raider Nation.
If you can do me a favor and you can move Jerry Jones out of town, I would be like forever. I'll pay for that.
Hey, man, you can't say that. You get counsel out here. Jerry
Yeah.
Jones, he owns everything. Hey, Jerry, I love you. I didn't say it.
I'll be the first. Jerry, hey. Ryan was Supermove, upstate New York, frustrated Cowboys fan. You gotta go. You gotta go.
Verner's connection
Hey, man,
he just cut out.
give me counsel from Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it wouldn't be surprised me, Dwyght, if your show's canceled after this. Jerry is definitely going to be like, "Oh, I heard something on that show. See ya."
Yeah, he gonna get you.
My bad. We can switch us over to Humans Are Moving podcast.
It's just Halloween, Jerry. It was Halloween.
I wish you'd go buy the Raiders or something.
So you're a Dallas Cowboy fan?
Yeah, I don't say it too often, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So a lot of those guys are really good people, though. A lot of those guys, I move them and they are really good people.
That's awesome.
So a lot of them want to move themselves, like move with us.
Yeah.
So yeah. So, but all my sons are official movers of the Dallas Cowboys. But I'll wear the underlinks.
The unofficial mover that moves the Cowboys, right? I mean, and you're not paying to have to move.
Yeah.
The official mover has to pay crazy money to.
Yeah, they do. They got, and I'm like, all my sons, they have all the plaques all over the place, but a lot of the Cowboys don't want to do that. They want that hands-on.
I think Good Greek was the official one for Tampa Bay.
Good Greek sponsors like every team in everything in Florida. It's a fortune. They spend a fortune on that sponsorship piece.
Oh man.
Yeah, so
I know a company in New York that the unofficial Bills mover, they move a ton of Bills players, but they're not the official Bills mover. I should just spent some time with him in New York last week. Great company out of Buffalo, New York. Really, really great company, but they move a ton of Buffalo Bills and staff. Yeah. They moved Brendan Bean there, so I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, because I think the bigger companies, like my son's 2 minute truck, they don't have that small mindset of the smaller movers companies where we can go out and like really do hands-on. Where the bigger companies, they don't have that. They just have a standard, and they'll just bring these different kind of movers where I'll be like, okay, I'm bringing all my top movers, no matter what, you know. They just bring anybody instead of, you know.
I think once you get to that point and you have the standards set in place and those processes dialed in, that you don't accept anything less than the service that you expect to deliver. And
what the big, like all my sons and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Like bigger companies? Well, Well, because they don't pay those companies. Well, they don't pay them the same rate that we pay them. Like I see it. Like all my sons, they don't pay movers like I pay a certain amount of money, and they pay their movers a little bit less. But they got a lot more movers coming in doing applications, but they not movers. They train them already. So I just hire movers that are already trained and stuff like that. But I don't know.
Yeah, I think once when you work for these big companies, you're thinking about volume, you're thinking about sustainability. So like if they might be a little less on the pay per hour, but because they can almost guarantee, consistent work ongoingly, that's where they can get you for a little less. Whereas the smaller companies, like, well, we have to pay you more, but you may not work Wednesday, you may not work Friday.
Well, that's really small company. I'm talking about the medium company where everybody right. Working every day. Yeah. But me, I change down my prices. Like my thing is some money is better than no money. As long as my guys are working and I'm making sure like it's gonna be slow it's supposed to be slow for November. Everybody gets slow around this time. Where I lower my prices and I just make sure my guys are working. Especially when Christmas time coming up and stuff like that, I'll lower my price by 30% or something like that. Just to make sure that yeah. Well, because some money better than no money, because if the truck is not working,
it's still a loss.
I won't make a loss. I won't make a loss, but I won't make as much as I'll make 30% less than I normally make.
Okay.
Okay. But my guys are still out there working and they still have money for Christmas. That's the reason why I have guys that have been here with me for over 15 years. Like my average guy is like 8 years.
Ooh.
That've been with me. So, that's why I keep a lot of the guys,
Mm.
Are you guys allowed to do capacity-based pricing out your way, Verna, in Texas?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Explain that a little bit, Ryan. What do you mean by capacity-based pricing?
Well, I'll peel it back just quick before I go on the capacity base, but most moving companies have their peak and non-peak pricing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So during peak season, their rates are here, and then during non-peak, their rates are down here. But I found, at least with our organization, like once we started to diversify, right, and get into all these other different lines of business, we didn't necessarily have a peak and non-peak anymore, because we all know that households peak is the 120 days of summer, so everybody's going to be peaked out busy that time. But what about Q1, Q3, and Q4, right? Once we were able to kind of dial in what that peak season is for those lines of business for Q1, Q3, and Q4, it made no sense for us to have a peak and non-peak pricing anymore. So we switched over to that capacity-based pricing model where we had a low rate and then we had a max tariff rate, and we could slide that pricing in to based on what our capacity was. So if we had no jobs booked for a Tuesday of next week, I could slide somebody in at what I'm going to say is a green rate, right? Being kind of the more aggressive rate, maybe a 25% gross profit or something like that on that particular rate. And as we started to scale and fill that schedule, our rates would climb. So basically, as the seats on the airplane fill up, as we'll say, the price goes higher to the point where, hey, if we've got one truck left, that was at our max rate. And even if we didn't book that truck, because how the pricing structure was set up, the other 3, 4, 5 trucks that day that were going out, say we didn't book the 5th or 6th truck, we still made more money on those 3 to 4 trucks going out than if we would have had our regular rates with all 6 trucks going out that particular day. So it was a way for us to kind of, maximize our capacity, but also leverage those rates to make us more profitable throughout the year.
And they allow you to do that in New York? We talking about?
It's a little. There's some workarounds in New York, but
okay.
We'll just.
But you got to remember, Texas is like Wild Wild West. We can do pretty much anything out here.
Tennessee too.
Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Yeah. So it's a little bit different. Like we can kind of do whatever we want until they try to turn us to a blue state. But then hopefully that ain't gonna happen.
Florida is the Wild Wild South, and they can do anything they want to do.
Yeah, Florida's crazy.
Yeah, I tried, like I said, trying out that market, it was crazy because it was like you're going from a regulated state that you have to tell your rates to And it's fine because hey, you're going to charge what you charge. But you go into a state where you're like, well, hey, I can't even tell a customer your move is expected to take 7 hours and it's going to be this cost because they're like, oh, that's too expensive. So you got to tell them, well, hey, our 2 hour minimum is this, and this is our hourly rate. And they're like, oh, that sounds okay. And you know it's going to take 7 hours though.
Yeah.
So it's
They
like
don't care about
the reverse mindset of this. And I'm like, what? But
The average consumer has no clue what it takes behind a move. They don't understand how many boxes. They don't understand weight, cubic feet. They don't understand any of that. And I feel like that's where, as moving companies, the ones that are truly becoming super successful are the ones that are explaining the process. They're explaining the formula behind. They're taking the inventories and showing the customer room by room the breakdown. Hey, one solid room, 1,000 pounds, we can move net in 1 hour locally. So if you have 7,000 pounds, aka 7 rooms, it's going to take 7 hours. So the more we can break it down as movers, the more transparent we can be about the process, building value, and then following up with price rather than coming straight price and then trying to build value once everyone tells us we're too expensive. It's just so much harder to win that way.
Yeah.
so yeah, no, I think they were supposed to be trying to figure out how they wanted to tighten up the regulations out that way. But it's gonna be a long haul. That's too big of a state, and everybody's been rolling the way they've been rolling for so many years that it's gonna probably be, like you said, a 10-year process at least to try to get everybody on board.
So because you moved out of New York and Florida, right, Matt?
Florida for a short time, New York mainly.
Okay, so but New York has a lot of regulations, just like California, right?
Yes, but I like to think Cali's worse.
Yeah, Kelly's. Yeah.
That's probably
I'm a huge advocate of the regulations within reason, right?
Yeah.
The price piece, I think, is so you're eliminating those guys that are out there like, $89 for 3 guys in a truck, and then all of a sudden the 89 turns into 289 because, like, I think having the published established rates, I think it keeps everybody honest. It keeps it a nice transparent experience. But yeah, maybe just a little bit less regs in New York. At least allow me to have a true capacity-based pricing, so I don't have to work around in this. I don't like working in gray area. Never have. To me, it's black or white. But New York, unfortunately, we had a lot of gray crayons that we were looking with.
The only thing I don't like is that they do regulate us, DOT and all that stuff. But only thing I don't like that they only go out the ones that are legit moving companies. So all the ones that are non-legit, I'll be like, man, how do you guys are still working? You guys don't have a DOT. They don't go after them. They go after us, like, any little thing, they'll go after us without, they're not really should really do their job, go after those road moving companies that don't have a DOT, don't pay insurance. But they concentrate on the ones that do have doing what's right, but maybe had like one little thing and then they just blow it up too much. So,
and that's what I'll give me.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. But they tell you got to be out here in these streets snitching and stuff, but you can't be snitching.
Yeah. I try not to snitch unless they talk bad about me, but
no, I'll give New York credit right now is one thing, but they are going after the rogue movers. It's now basically being handled by the Attorney General's office. And before, where they basically smack a company with $5K, $10K fine, which in reality is nothing to them because they're not insured, they're not paying their piece and what have you. So for me to run rogue and get a $10,000 fine when I get caught, like, sure, I'm going to pay that because I've already made a couple $100K that I don't have to pay back, this, that, what have you. But now, the fines are done. Like they're putting your ass in jail, which I think is crazy. But they're not putting certain things in jail. But my gosh, if you're a rogue mover, they're going to give you 10 to 15 years. But I can go out and rob stores and do all that stuff, and like I'm back on the street in like 30 minutes. So New York's just jacked up, man. I don't know.
It's like New Jersey, right? Sting operations.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of sting operations, but they don't have a team that can scale to do this, right? So they're picking off a couple of these companies. Every time they pick off a company, there's 10 more that are born, right? So it's just a constant evolution, and these guys are getting sneakier, right? And they change their name and their website like every other week. So good luck trying to catch them.
Ryan, you just brought an idea to my head. See, that's that Max moving training to me. Um, undercover movers. We should go
Huh?
undercover. Go to these rogue moving companies, get hired, and like, oh, okay. Notate, report back.
You know what? You just got me thinking, shoot,
Say it one more time.
we do undercover movers and try to
Oh,
bust these
okay.
people.
Yeah, we can do it in different cities.
Yeah, you're gonna end up getting shot, Dwight. I ain't playing.
Hey, we gotta, not to be racist, but we gotta send the right people to the right areas,
Hey, it's
Yeah, you'll
smart
get
knowing
shot
your
either way.
demographics, right? Like intelligent
know,
planning, we'll call that.
So
Yeah.
but and the crazy part is
Right.
just to even hit on that, preparing a live stream. Okay, got a weird message. But just to even hit on that, it's just like, do y'all ever run into those situations when y'all were doing the moving side piece where if it was in a weird, I guess, demographics, you had to worry about what crew size you sent? Or what crew you sent?
Well, see, in Texas, it's the South.
I'm excited for this.
I'm gonna leave that to you. Go ahead.
So in Texas, it's the South. So sometimes you have older white men. So when I go out, sometimes I'll look at the customer and I'll see if the customer, what kind of vibe the customer is. So I have everybody. I have Spanish, white, black. I got everybody. I even got a couple of Chinese people, movers. So I'll visually see if how the customer is feeling, and I'll say, okay, I'll tell my white guy, hey man, you're the lead here, you're the owner, you take over right here, and then it helps out like that, and that's vice versa. Different customers. Unfortunately, we have a lot of customers. There's still a lot of people that still think that, okay, well, I'll trust this person because of his color. That's black, white, Mexican, and everything. Like even my Spanish guys, I'll say, hey, you the lead on here. I'm just a worker, so it helps out with the customer. Even though we live in, everything should be racially good, but it's not sometimes. So it's okay to fall back. Everybody's money's green. I'm not going to turn down nobody's money. Everybody's money's green. So, just because that person doesn't like to be led by a certain person doesn't mean we're going to stop the move.
I love what you say, Vernon. We did the same damn thing, and I feel like I take the racial piece out of it. And to me, it's more like how do we enhance that customer's experience, right? So every customer likes to be rubbed a particular way or interacted in a particular piece. So why would we not mimic our crew lead and our crews to fit that to fit that piece? We'll say it the nicest way possible. But in the Ithaca area, which I serviced a lot, I mean, there was races, religion, like I didn't even know was even around, right? So it was like just it's a very international, Cornell University, right? Very international type school. So you had people from all across the world, and it was sometimes very hard to match, a crew lead with a particular person. But the more that we could, vibe it out, I would say, because you had the customers that like to laugh and joke. So I had a laughy and jokey crew, or you had some that, as you know, were just like, and I had my crew that was, hey, head down, go to work. That's it. Don't even talk at this point. So yeah, that's just all in providing that amazing customer experience. So no, kudos for doing that.
But Ryan said
right
too,
now
that's
we have
kind of what we did. We would do like the crew that like the no nonsense crew, or like this guy's chill. Like
I feel like on my side of things, because and there was a couple of different things, but the one where being a black owned, when people specifically call for that, I kind of, I get it. Some people want to support the black owned businesses. I completely understand that part. And then, but then there's the other part where, because of that reason, I attracted a lot more African American employees or something like that. And, so a good amount of my leads were black. So it was like, well, hey, maybe I'll send them with, I guess, a white crew member. Make that feel a little better. I don't know. We're just gonna go out there and try to do the best job we can. But when you're in the Hudson area, not the the hood part of Hudson, but you know, in the Hudson area, you know, you got to worry about, you know, what they're going to think. You know, are they going to give you a bad review or be nitpicking about something that could have been shoved underneath the rug or whatever the case is.
Well, with my experience, like, so you know, in Texas, it's mixed with, you know, you have, you know, black doctors, white doctors, you know, everybody. But sometimes when you have, especially black people, I'm not trying to go racial or nothing like this, but
Guys, I'm so sorry.
with-
My pregnant wife's calling me. I'll be right back.
All right.
okay, with black, like black entrepreneurs, when a mover comes over and they are white and or Spanish or something like that, non-black, or even black people, they talk to them when they talk to certain people, they don't want them to talk to them down. So sometimes racially they think that, oh, this person's talking down to me. You know, I made it to this point, but you know, they have to understand. That's why I try to explain to my guys, like, hey, you know, when you go out and you talk to some of these people, make sure you are talking to them in a professional way. You know, don't say just because you're black, don't say, hey, brother, because he's black. You know, they are still they're still professional. You know, just because they look like you doesn't mean you gotta, you know, act like you can talk like you friends with them. So that's one of the things. That's for everybody, black, white, Mexican, everything. I try to tell them, you just talk to them professionally, no matter what.
We had a saying, Verna. Oh, was that me?
Huh?
So,
Yeah.
so we had a saying that, you know, you communicate through, don't just communicate to. And it was a big thing for us.
Wait, say it again so I can steal it.
No, you communicate through and not communicate to. Because if I communicate to Verna as, again, I'm throwing the race thing out the window here, but as the owner talking to a black crew lead or Mexican crew lead or whatever, that communicating to could be like, oh, he's telling me what to do. Like, oh, he looks down. But if I communicate through to Verna or to James or to Dwyght or to Ryan, it's a whole different piece. So to me, it's just, you know, again, back to knowing your people. How do they like to be communicated with? Because some people you really have to tell them 15 different times in 15 different ways. Other folks, I could just be like, boom, I know I could tell Dwyght this one time and he got it. He understood it. But then there were times like saying like James, I'd have to tell James 3 different times, 3 different ways for him to get that. I know James, but I'm just whatever. But that was communicating through. You know, because we lose a lot in communication, especially as movers, right? So another thing I learned too is like after we communicated through to our movers, we'd have them basically recite it back to us just to make sure that they understand what we were putting down, and vice versa. And it always seemed to work. But I'd say another cool thing that we used to do, I don't know if they still do it now, is we had little bios of all our guys. So our move coordinator, once we had who was on that particular crew, it'd be like, hey, meet Dwyght, crew lead, you know, likes Doritos, has a terrible Halloween back room on Zoom calls, like a little funny little background piece. We'd have that for all our guys. So we'd send that out the night before, almost just to kind of get the homeowner to say, oh, wow, this is my crew. This is James. This is Ryan. Ryan likes Oreo cookies, double stuffed. Or we just have all this like cookie stuff.
So I was going to say, there was a CRM I was using. I'm not going to say it for, you know, infringement purposes. But there was a CRM I was using that had something very similar to that, where you can create little bios for each of your workers, and it would go out with the invoice to the customer. I think the day before, where it lets them know, hey, here's your assigned crew, and here is a little details about them, etc.
And I used to do that for moving sales too. I had like an email template, had my picture, a little bio, like stuff about the family, activities and stuff. And I think I don't know if a lot of moving companies do that too, like legit email template bio, because that always helped a lot.
There's a lot that do.
Yeah, and
I'm gonna start doing that. Thank you, Brian. I got some. Thank you.
It's just one other way to you know, before it's like you have to put your customer hat on, like, wow, I got 3-4 strangers coming to my house. Who are these guys, right? You know, I had a good experience on the phone. I got a very reasonable and valuable quote, but now who's actually coming to touch my shit was kind of our thing, right? So it was like, how do we break that ice. And I did that even when I did the in-home surveys. Like I'd call ahead because typically, at least in my area, I was meeting with the wife, the fiance, the girl. I was meeting with the woman, right? And she had 2, 3 little kids in the house or whatever. He got me as a young guy, stranger, pulling up, like looking in their closets, looking under their bed. She like it's weird, right? You think about some of the things that we do in home surveys, like we're getting all up in their personal business. So I didn't make that call a half hour out. Hey, it's Ryan, try to crack a joke or whatever. I'm driving a 4-door gray Chevy, blah, blah, blah. I'll be pulling up. So when you see the car, don't get nervous. It's me. Our car's not branded. Just to kind of give them, they could hear the voice. So once I knocked on that door, rang the doorbell, like I just felt like the conversation had already started. I was just we're just jumping right back into it. So now your crew does that the night before, like it's magical.
Definitely. I would say, all right, so with the few minutes we got left, I was saying, we got to address the monkey in the room. Are you guys stacking away for your retirement? Because, ultimately, y'all can't be on the trucks or working.
I got a sugar mama.
Yeah.
That's retirement right there. But yeah, that's my sugar mama works. She's doing all her money's our retirement fund pretty much. So
okay. I actually just started an IRA the other day, and I was just like, you know what? Because I always tell myself, okay, you know what? I don't trust this government system. I don't like the fact that, we being double taxed. Your money is already being taxed, and then you put it into an IRA to grow, and then they're going to tax it when you're ready to take it out. And it's like, it was already taxed before I put it in here. But it was like, the whole concept of personally saving on your own for, your retirement, how much you're going to need to feel comfortable and how quickly it's going to burn out because it's in your possession.
Yeah.
Don't seem like that's the way to go.
Yeah, I'd say my personal, and this everyone thinks I'm probably weird with this, but almost like the moving industry, like I don't put all my eggs in one basket, right? So for my financial piece, like I'm not just doing household, right? So yeah, do I have a 401k? Sure. Do I have an IRA that I contribute to a little bit here and there? Absolutely. Do I have a savings? Sure. But also real estate and land, right? So I just scooped up 90 acres and they're not building more land, right? And I got it at a fraction of a cost.
Where's this at? What city? What state?
Upstate New York.
And that's okay.
Finger Lakes area. Yeah, land's hard to come by up here. So the opportunity to get 90 was incredible. And from what the amount that I paid to what it's actually, it's $3,500 an acre up here, and I paid less than $1,000 per acre. So how could you say no? It's like, buying a moving company at a tenth of the value. Like, sure. I would never do that. I ain't getting the headaches again. But no, so between that, commercial property, some rentals and things like that, I think spreading out that, just because who knows where the market's going to be. Like my 401k could be absolutely terrible by the time I'm ready to retire. But guess what? That land is worth X. The properties are worth Y. And then you worry about what's in the market when the market's there. So I try to spread it out a little bit. Make it sound like I've got all sorts of stuff, but I don't. But it's all just spread out kind of equally across. So it's safe, but it's also very aggressive at the same time.
What about yourself, James?
Yeah, I agree. I grew up in Washington, D.C. area, and we're a little more conservative for that area. So me and my wife moved to Tennessee. We got 36 acres on a mountain. Neighbors. The previous owners got fiber optic installed, so I'm not gonna worry about that. So it's nice, man.
He's like Amish. He's like part Amish.
You got that Tennessee whiskey up there too?
I was clean shaven when I moved here 2 years ago and just.
You go to Tennessee, you got to grow the beard out.
You said Washington D.C. That's where you're from?
Yeah.
Oh man, it was crowded in there. That's why you needed all that space now.
Yeah, and it's crazy too. Me and Ryan have talked about this a little bit. I got a 2-year-old son, and just walking outside with him, and there's no noise and trees.
Yeah,
the open sky. Like he's gonna have such a crazy, different, wild life than like. I mean, I don't know, but out different. It's gonna be totally
See, once I get my Optimus robot, I'll get whatever land I need to get because I ain't got to worry about lawn mowing. Hey, you go out there, you lawn mower.
It's the only problem though, is you got that many. We've got, I don't know, there's probably 15 acres at least worth of fields. Like I had to pay somebody to brush hog it because you ain't hitting that with a lawnmower, Dwight. Good luck.
Oh heck no.
Oh yeah.
So are you building anything on there yet, or is there already something on there?
Now, right now, there's like an old sugar shack, a couple sheds where we keep the side by side, the four wheelers and things like that. But my intention is to actually, I gotta be quiet because the wife's in the other room over here. I don't know if she can hear me or not.
Mhm.
Okay.
The intention is to build a hunting cabin, but more of a 20-footer and 40-foot ocean containers. I'm gonna link those up and put in
Okay.
some sliding door. So I don't know if you ever saw the container type homes.
Yeah,
Um,
yes, yeah. They're doing a lot of them in Texas right now.
yeah, love those things, and I think that's the plan. First plan is to get electric up there. Right now, there's a house down below, so I gotta work with our local NYSEG because they're saying they gotta run it like 1,000 feet, and I'm like, I don't understand. There's a pole 300 feet away. Why you gotta run it 1,000? You could run it 300, but
Yeah.
it's all about the money. So once I get electric up there, then I will. But before I get the electric, they want to know where the structure is going to be placed, the type of structure, the size of the structure. I'm like, I don't know until I know how much electric's going to cost. So,
So, so now, do they not do tax assessments once you start building the properties on your land?
it's a good question. I mean, our taxes right now are $2,000 on that property, which is a fraction of what I paid for no land in this house right here, butted up to neighbors. So no, it'll be interesting to see what happens. That's why I think a cabin would be different than putting an actual home structure because cabin can be removed, containers can be removed. So I think there's something to be said for that. But also looking at renting out the lower field as well. And this is going to sound crazy. I don't know if it's the right conversation for here, but obviously with dispensaries popping up all over the place.
Oh yeah.
In New York, they're looking for USDA certified organic fields to grow. We'll call it crops at this point, right? So
Yeah.
we are actually USDA certified organic lower. There's 7 acres down there that I can rent out. So I'm in talks of that right now. But also it's mine too, right? So it's like I got it to kind of share with family, friends. You go walk it. There's ravines, there's waterfall pieces. It's like there's trails. Just a great place to kind of ease the mind. But at the same time, it's like I'd like to, generate some revenue here. Now, if New York would ever turn red, which I don't ever see that happening, then I do have all the
It's
mineral rights. At one point in time, the land was generating $7,000 a month worth of gas and mineral rights. So I'd love to open that back up again because my gosh, hey, hence there's another retirement piece, right? Shoot. But
Mhm.
You gotta never turn red.
what's that?
Yeah.
No, it
You
ain't
gotta
gonna turn red.
never.
No, it's not going to happen. If it did, like I'd be the happy. I probably wouldn't be on this podcast anymore. I can tell you that if it did, because I just be sitting back collecting some cash. But
Yeah. So, all right, guys. So we are at the top of the hour. Thank you guys so much
Okay.
for joining us. Definitely got to come back. I think today was definitely an interesting topic, and we got questions after questions. But I don't know if I spoke to you, Ryan, but I think the mobile storage it could definitely be more of a thing with people getting like the 20-foot drop containers that people can load up at the people's residence, bring it to your warehouse, and basically be able to only have to touch it twice with loading and unloading it versus having to touch it 4 times with bringing it in your truck, having to take it off your truck and put it into storage. That being a thing can also help possibly build more of a self-storage option for you as well.
that's where Bud Van Lines crushes it with that. I love their model. They load it on their truck, and basically their pods are 26-foot pods, sort of say, and it gets loaded once, and then it goes in the warehouse, or it goes here, or goes there. They're not bumping trucks up, loading to and from. They're not loading in and out of a warehouse. Once it goes on that truck, it stays until it gets delivered. And they just basically crane it or forklift it right off. I mean, they've got a really, really cool model that they've had for a long time. But how do you replicate that? Because that is a huge eliminate claims, touches, and that's why those guys are so profitable is because they're not touching things 2, 3, 4 times. The way that their trucks are built, and they got a really cool model there.
What's it called again?
It's Bud Van Lines. They're great.
Okay.
Great folks. I know a lot of people inside that organization. I used to do a lot of QC checks for them. They do a lot of like massive national account. Like their moves are, and they're expensive, but the quality of work that they do, and these guys will pack and load 20K in a day. And I shit you not, 20K, pack and load 200 cartons, loading 20K one day. There's never a need for shuttles because they can back in their 26-foot piece, fill it, load it, and then boom, grab the other one, boom, fill it, load it, and then hook up and in tandem, there they go. So it eliminates shuttles, it eliminates multiple touches. But they've got the crazy patent on that. So
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
All right, y'all. So
Okay.
anything before we take off? Anybody last one
Hey, it was a
words?
pleasure. It was a pleasure talking to you guys, James and Ryan and Mac. Hey, man, it's always a pleasure talking to you guys. I love to learn from you guys. You know, love to get these key pieces from you guys as well.
Yeah, it was a pleasure
Thank
meeting you and Dwight.
Yeah,
Supermove,
and I
don't
like
forget to
the
reach out to
beard,
Verner.
James.
Thank you.
I like
it's
that
nice
beard.
chatting with you guys, and get Jerry Jones out of there and go Cowboys. And I do like the Raiders just because Tom Brady's buying in now. I've always been a big Tom Brady fan, which that's a whole nother subject you guys probably gonna hate me for, but nobody works harder than he does. So
Yeah, that's why we're gonna get Shador Sanders for a quarterback next year for the Raiders.
we need to do something. I'm a big Dion fan too, right? So he ain't
Yeah,
hard to find, as you know.
I
So
know he might be the net head coach of the Raiders too.
All right, y'all.
All right, let me let you.
Yeah, take care. We'll see y'all next
All right.
week. Take care.
Yeah.
see y'all. Take care.
Bye.